Hey guys, before we start today's video, we need to thank Miami Luxury Cars located in, obviously, Miami, Florida. They provided the Urus for this video. They have two of these for rent. They've got a Huracan Spider, 488 Coupe and Spider. Check them out at miamiluxury.net. So the Lamborghini Urus. Lamborghini claims that it's the world's first super SUV, but does it feel like a real Lamborghini? Is it a true Lambo? The idea of a high-performance SUV is not a new thing. I mean, we've had the BMW X5M, the X6M, the Porsche Cayenne Turbos, there's AMG versions of it, but does the Lamborghini really elevate itself one step above? SUVs and crossovers have become so popular recently, it's kind of inevitable that everybody's going to join the SUV craze. I mean, we have the ultra-luxury ones now. First, you had the Bentley Bentayga, and now we have the insanely over-the-top Rolls-Royce Cullinan. Aston Martin's going to make one. Ferrari's even considering making one. So a Lamborghini SUV actually makes more sense than some of the other people because Lamborghini has had a history of creating an SUV of sorts with the LM002. The Urus definitely has a lot of very impressive numbers. We'll start with some of the powertrain basics. Horsepower comes from a 4-liter twin-turbo V8. It makes 641 horsepower and 627 pound-feet of torque. That power is sent through a ZF-sourced 8-speed automatic transmission, all-wheel drive. It's got some really cool other powertrain tricks to it. A real torque vectoring rear differential, power split from the front and rear, can send up to like 70% of the power to the back, default 60 in the rear, 87 to the back is possible. It has rear-wheel steering. The rear-wheel steering helps shorten the wheelbase when you're doing lower speed, makes it feel a little more nimble, and then at higher speeds it lengthens the wheelbase by turning the wheels the opposite direction. That's actually, at higher speeds it turns in the same direction to lengthen the wheelbase. At lower speeds they turn opposite of the fronts to make it feel like it's shorter. Continuing on, performance. 0 to 60 is claimed in 3.6 seconds, up to a top speed of 189 miles an hour. The weight, it is well over 2 tons, 4,900 pound SUV. It's huge, you cannot deny that. Other big numbers, it costs a lot too. It starts at $200,000. Most of these things get optioned well into the $250,000 plus range. They also are planning to sell a lot of these for Lamborghini. $3,500 a year, which is going to double the Lamborghini production output per year, up to 7,000, which when you think about it, it's still not that many cars. But this is really important because it represents cash flow to Lamborghini, kind of like what the Cayenne did for Porsche and the Macan does and the Panamera. They sell more of those than all their other sports cars. So, the Urus, back to talking about how it drives. Well, it's impressive. It's heavy and it's large and it's fast. It's undeniably quick. When you're throwing 2.5 tons to 60 in under 4 seconds, the all-wheel drive system, it pushes you back with a mountain of torque. This is the first twin turbocharged Lamborghini ever, and well, from the factory. You've got obviously aftermarket twin turbo kits. This is also the first V8 in a long time. It does not scream naturally aspirated high revving like a V12 or the V10 and the Huracan and Aventador, but what it does do is supply you with an absolute mountain of torque from down low. You make so much from just 2,000 RPM, it just throws you in the back of your seat and you're gone. Now, they did a lot of stuff to make this thing drive and handle well. A lot of journalists got to test these on an actual racetrack when they first came out, and they were astounded by the amount of grip that was provided. It's got gigantic carbon ceramic brakes, 10-piston front calipers with the largest rotors fitted on any production vehicle. They are massive, and they actually don't look huge behind these enormous 23-inch wheels that we'll talk a little bit more about when we're doing the styling discussion. But the way it drives, it's the first impression I got, I just put it in regular Strata mode, on street mode, and just cruising around on a freeway. It's comfortable. It's the most comfortable and luxurious Lamborghini out there, the easiest one to drive. It's higher up, you can see out of it, you're not worried about scraping on every single pebble on the road. The transmission is smooth, it's easy to drive, it's got all the tech features you could possibly want. But then you put through this little tamburo changer of the modes, you go into sport, everything perks up a little bit, it gets a little bit louder, the transmission drops the gear, it hunkers down on the suspension, it's a little more aggressive. And then if you put it in full race mode, which is called Corsa, it gets kind of absurd. It's loud, it crackles, it pops, and it is undeniably fast, and it will put a gigantic smile on your face. It doesn't drive like a gigantic SUV, more of a slightly big sedan in my opinion, but you're not expecting a Huracan performance levels of cornering and things like that. Let's talk about the exterior styling. It has a lot of the Lamborghini traits there. It's all crazy angles and creases and Y-shaped lights and triangles and hexagons and things like that. So it it looks like it's got the Lamborghini ingredients. They weren't able to do a complete ground up design though, because this shares the MLB Evo architecture with the rest of the Volkswagen family. So the underpinnings of this vehicle are similar to the Bentley Bentayga, a Porsche Cayenne, the Audi Q7, Q8. That's inevitable. They couldn't get away from that. So they did what they could with what they were given. And it definitely stands out. It looks different. It's lower than most SUVs out there. It's got very high door sill lines like here, so it's got thinner windows. It's very sharply raked in the back. It's got massive gaping vents up front. It's on enormous 23-inch wheels. This is you can get 21 to 22 to 23-inch wheels. This has the top-end wheels with the orange calipers poking out behind. This is a more subdued color for Lamborghini, just the gray. You can get these in bright yellow and red. I'm sure those stand out a lot more. But I don't think this would ever get lost in the parking lot. It turns heads. People look at it like, what the hell is this thing? Compared to a Cayenne, this thing looks like an absolute monster of a car. So styling-wise, it has a lot of the Lamborghini traits to it, but I don't think you're going to find this on like somebody's screensaver or something. It doesn't evoke the same emotion you would get from a Lamborghini Aventador SV, but it's an SUV, so it's more difficult for them to achieve that. Overall, I think it looks cool. It looks different. It's unique. I don't think it's pretty per se. It's not like a beautiful looking car. It looks mean and aggressive. On the inside though, I think is where they really did an excellent job. This interior is by far the most luxurious and most technologically superior Lamborghini ever. It's got the latest systems that they pulled from the Volkswagen parts bin. You got the giant double touchscreens from the A8. It's got the huge virtual cockpit screen in the middle. Excellent leather. You have wood everywhere. It's beautifully finished, and it has everything you would possibly want. So adaptive cruise control. It's a Lamborghini with adaptive cruise control. I'm on a freeway right now. I could set it to adaptive cruise if I wanted to. It's got these fixed paddle shifters to the steering wheel. Let's see what else about this interior. It's pretty spacious. Fit well in the front. Plenty of headroom. I can sit behind myself as a 6'3" individual. Have plenty of headroom and legroom. It fits luggage in the trunk. We've got 2 suitcases, a duffel bag, and things in the trunk, so it's practical and usable. There are a couple seating arrangements. You can have a 5-seater, which is this. You have 2 up front and then a bench seat in the back for 3. There's also a 2+2, like a 4-seater arrangement where you put 2 bucket seats in the back. But overall, on the inside, you can tell it's a Lambo. There's obviously Lamborghini badges, but there's like the hexagon shapes everywhere. It feels like a fighter jet. You've got this crazy center console thing here with the temperature for changing your drive modes. You get the flip up button for the little cover for starting the car. You've got the Ego mode there, which they debuted, I think, in the Aventador S. And it's not a reflection of how big egos Lamborghini owners have, but it's more so allowing you to configure your own personal setup, so you're not confined to all Strada, all Sport, all Corsa. You can reconfigure steering and suspension on your own. But I mean, this is legitimately I think a luxury vehicle. Heated, cooled seats. The button and display feedback is excellent. Really great graphics. The sound system's got the upgraded B&O sound system. Sounds amazing. The fit and finish looks great. Everything feels very solid. And that's the big benefit of sharing things with Volkswagen, Audi, and the family there, because they pulled a lot of the things from them. It's got like the engine that's found in a lot of high-end Porsches. The Bentleys use it. It's a 4-liter with bigger turbo, so it makes more power, but it's not like a true V10 Lamborghini engine or something like that. I want to talk a little bit more about what it's like to just kind of use and drive. With like a Huracan Performante, obviously you would really want to know about that, because that's a car for the track. It's designed to be the best handling thing out there. Urus is not going to see the track that much. I doubt these owners are going to do that. They probably already have a Huracan or a Performante, or they have an Aventador, and they want something they can take up to a ski trip or something and pack it full of bags, and it's usable all year round, things like that. That is what this Urus is designed to do. So from a regular daily driving usability, I'm in Strada mode right now, and it's great. It's comfortable. It rides good enough. With the giant 23-inch wheels and the fact that the suspension is tuned a little more stiffly so it handles well. It's got like active anti-roll bars, so it can corner flat. It's got all these special Pirelli P0 developed tires for this thing. It's pretty usable and livable still. And if you want to start going crazy, like I said earlier, you kind of just toggle through some of the modes and it completely changes. You pull a couple downshifts. This thing is fast. It gets louder. The transmission shifts very fast on upshifts. Downshifts, I'm kind of surprised. Even in full Corsa mode, you pull the paddle, it feels a little bit lazy. they aren't quite as crisp as I would expect, because it is a ZF 8-speed, and some of those have been tuned really, really well, but it's not perfect in that regard. So if we talk about the value of the Urus, it's not going to do well in terms of value because it's just so expensive. This is a $250,000 SUV. Is it $100,000 better than something like an X5M? Objectively, no. It's going to be hard to justify and prove out how this is $100,000 better. But the thing is, ooh, a Ferrari 812, that is pretty. The thing is, most of the people who are buying a vehicle like this probably don't care. They already have an Aventador or a Huracan. They just want the latest Lamborghini Super SUV. Does it feel like a true Lamborghini? If you were to take the badges off, blindfold me, or not blindfold me, I have to drive it, but take the badges off, let me drive it, I would be like, wow, this is a really awesome high-performance SUV. Is this what I think a Lamborghini is like? Not conventionally, no. I didn't never expect them to throw like a V10 Huracan motor or a V12 into it. It just wouldn't work. You need torque for a luxury SUV like this. But this is what Lamborghini interprets the SUV as. And if Lamborghini says this is a Lamborghini, I agree with it. I like it a lot. I think it's awesome. It's unique in its own way. It did pull a lot of parts from, like, some people complain that, oh, it's just a fancy Q8. Well, I think they've done enough to make it different. It has serious performance abilities. I love the technology. I love it has a lot of the Lamborghini traits in terms of the styling, the interior, the way it sounds, the way it makes you feel. It's just pretty awesome. I like the Urus a lot. So there we go, the Lamborghini Urus, the world's most usable Lamborghini. It definitely will still put a huge smile on your face and will for sure turn heads. I like it a lot. Special thanks again to Miami Luxury Cars. You can rent this from the miamiluxury.net. They have a couple Uruses, 488s, Huracan Spider. Check them out. This has been fun spending the afternoon with the Urus. Me and my girlfriend have been driving around, enjoying the vehicle. It's pretty cool to have a Lamborghini key in your pocket. There we go. If you have any questions, please comment below. Thanks for watching.